Scene script. Have you ever stopped to consider how science impacts your everyday life? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? The reality is, science is omnipresent, subtly influencing our day-to-day activities in ways we seldom pause to acknowledge. It's like a hidden maestro conducting an orchestra, with every instrument playing its part to create the symphony of life as we know it. Take technology, for instance. We live in a world where we can communicate with someone halfway across the globe in real time, thanks to the marvels of science. Every email sent, every video streamed, every search query entered is a testament to the intricate dance of data packets and protocols, all governed by the laws of science. Then there's the art of cooking, a delicious blend of chemistry and physics. The sizzle of a steak, the rise of a loaf of bread, the caramelization of sugar, are all scientific processes unfolding right in our kitchens. Through heat transfer, chemical reactions, and molecular transformations, we create meals that nourish us and delight our senses. Ever wondered how we move around so effortlessly? Science is at the helm here too. From the combustion engine in our cars to the aerodynamics of an airplane, transportation relies heavily on scientific principles. It's science that powers our journey, whether we're commuting to work or exploring distant lands. And let's not forget about weather prediction. Those accurate forecasts that help us plan our days and safeguard our lives during severe weather conditions. They're possible due to sophisticated scientific models and algorithms that analyze atmospheric data and predict weather patterns. In the grand scheme of things, science is like an unseen thread weaving through the fabric of our lives, connecting and influencing every aspect. It powers our gadgets, fuels our vehicles, feeds us, and even predicts the weather. Our daily lives are an ongoing science experiment, and we are both the observers and the participants. Yes, science is everywhere, and it shapes our everyday experiences. From the moment you wake up, science is already at play. Let's pause for a moment and consider the first things you do in the morning. Perhaps you reach for your smartphone to turn off the alarm, or maybe you switch on your laptop to check your emails. In every action, there's a scientific principle at work. Take your alarm clock, for instance. It's a practical application of the principles of electronics, a branch of physics. It uses electrical energy to produce sound, light, or vibration at a set time to wake you up. The same goes for your smartphone, which is essentially a mini computer. It operates on complex algorithms and principles of computer science. And that's not all. The touchscreen of your smartphone is a marvel of material science. It's made up of a thin, transparent layer of conductive material that responds to the tiny electrical charge from your fingers. Now let's consider your laptop. It's an amalgamation of various scientific disciplines, computer science, physics, and engineering, to name a few. The microprocessor inside your laptop, which is essentially its brain, is a result of advancements in semiconductor technology. This microprocessor uses principles of quantum mechanics to process billions of instructions per second. And then there's the internet, the global network that connects your devices to the outside world. It's a product of computer science, telecommunications, and electrical engineering. When you type a website URL into your browser, a request is sent through various networks to the server hosting the website. This server then sends back the website data, which your browser interprets and displays. All this happens within a fraction of a second, thanks to the principles of data transmission and networking. In essence, the technology we use every day is a manifestation of scientific principles. These principles are applied to solve problems, create convenience, and improve our lives. From the simplest gadget to the most complex machine, science is at the heart of it all. Science and technology are so intertwined that one couldn't exist without the other. Ever thought of your kitchen as a science lab? It might sound amusing, but there's no denying the wealth of scientific principles at play every time you prepare your favorite meal. Take baking, for instance. It's a perfect example of chemistry in action. When you mix flour, eggs, and baking powder, you're actually setting off a series of chemical reactions. The proteins in the flour and eggs link together when heated, giving your cake structure. Meanwhile, the baking powder releases carbon dioxide gas, creating bubbles that make your cake rise. It's all a delicate balance of proportions and temperatures, just like in a chemistry lab. And then there's the Maillard reaction, a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars that gives browned food its distinctive flavor. It's the reason why your steak tastes so much better when it's seared, or why toasted bread has a different flavor profile than its untoasted counterpart. It's a complex process, but it's essentially science at work on your taste buds. Moving on, let's look at your refrigerator. It's not just a cold box. It's a marvel of physics and engineering. It works on the principles of thermodynamics, removing heat from the inside and expelling it outside, thus keeping your food cool and safe. It slows down the activity of bacteria, helping to preserve your food for longer. And the science doesn't stop there. Ever wondered why oil and water don't mix? It's due to their differing molecular structures. Oil molecules are non-polar, meaning they don't have a positive or negative end, while water molecules are polar, with a positive and a negative end. This difference makes them repel each other, leading to that familiar separation in your salad dressing. So the next time you're in your kitchen, take a moment to appreciate the science behind your culinary creations. Whether you're baking a cake, searing a steak, or just storing leftovers in the fridge, there's a wealth of scientific principles at play. So, every time you cook, remember, you're also doing science. Ever wondered how a simple pill can relieve your headache? Well, it's all down to the fascinating world of science in health and medicine. Let's begin with understanding the process of creating medicines. It's a lot like cooking, but instead of using ingredients from your kitchen, scientists use different chemicals and substances. They follow a recipe known as a synthesis pathway, which is a series of chemical reactions that produce a specific product, in this case, our medicine. This process is a delicate balance of precision and creativity, as scientists must ensure the safety and effectiveness of these medicines while innovating to treat new or resistant diseases. But creating a medicine is only one part of the story. To understand why these medicines work, we need to delve into the human body. Our bodies are like complex machines with countless parts working together. Illnesses occur when one or more parts aren't functioning as they should, much like a car breaking down. The role of medicine is to help these parts function correctly again. It's a bit like a mechanic fixing a faulty engine. Take that headache pill, for instance. It contains a substance that blocks the production of certain chemicals in the body that cause pain and inflammation. When you swallow the pill, it dissolves in your stomach and is absorbed into your bloodstream. From there, it travels to your brain where it does its job of blocking those pain-causing chemicals, and voila, your headache starts to fade away. But science in health and medicine isn't limited to just treating illnesses. It's also about understanding diseases and finding ways to prevent them. Scientists study the patterns, causes, and effects of health and disease conditions in defined populations, or epidemiology. This research is what guides public health policies and preventative measures, helping us live healthier, longer lives. And so, from the creation of drugs to the understanding of diseases, science is deeply woven into the fabric of health and medicine. It's the driving force that allows us to understand our bodies, to heal, to prevent, and to thrive. Just another way science works to improve our lives on a daily basis. Ever marvel at the beauty of a rainbow or the change of seasons? These are not just aesthetic experiences, but phenomenal demonstrations of science at work in the world around us. Take the rainbow, for instance. It's much more than a beautiful arch of colors in the sky. It's a scientific marvel, an exquisite demonstration of light refraction and dispersion. When sunlight passes through raindrops, it refracts or bends, and then disperses or splits into a spectrum of colors. Each raindrop acts like a tiny prism, bending and scattering the light into its constituent colors. The result? A breathtaking display of natural science, a rainbow. Then, there's the captivating change of seasons. Ever wondered why leaves change color in the fall, or why it's warmer in summer than in winter? The tilt of the Earth's axis relative to its orbit around the Sun explains these phenomena. In summer, the Earth's tilt towards the Sun results in longer, sunnier days. In contrast, winter brings shorter, colder days as the Earth tilts away from the Sun. And those vibrant autumn colors? They're the result of a chemical process. As daylight hours decrease and temperatures drop, photosynthesis slows, and the green chlorophyll in leaves breaks down, revealing other pigments like red, orange, and yellow. And speaking of photosynthesis, it's one of the most vital natural processes powered by science. Plants, using sunlight, convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. This process not only sustains the plant's life, but also creates the oxygen we breathe. It's a beautiful, life-giving cycle that demonstrates the profound interconnectedness of all living things. Science is all around us, not just confined to sterile labs or complex equations. It's in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the seasons that pass, and the rainbows that grace our skies after a storm. So, science is not just in labs, it's also in the world around us.